Welcome once again to the People of the Free Gift podcast, where we ground believers in their identity in Christ and equip them to reach out to those caught in religion. We're glad you joined us.
Yes, I'm Marcia Montenegro. I have a ministry called Christian Answers for the New Age. I was in the New Age for about 20 years. And eventually, after I became a Christian, I was given opportunities to speak and share my testimony and talk about the New Age, and that developed into full-time ministry. So I address a lot of topics. I'm going to try this. I don't know if I can really, I've never done this before, so I don't know if it works or not. I'll see what happens. Oh, I don't know if that worked or not. Well, I was trying to show my Christian Answers for the New Age page, and I don't know what I did there, but as long as you all can still see me, that's good. Also, I have an outline of what I'm going to talk about. I was going to put up, but now I don't know what I did because it's changed the screen here. All right, well, I'm just going to go on here. My topic today is mindfulness, and I am talking about that because it's become such a popular thing in the culture, and it has spread like wildfire. I've been tracking it for several years. Mindfulness is a form of Buddhist meditation, and I actually practiced it for 12 years when I was in the New Age. I was very much into Eastern spirituality. The New Age is pretty much composed of Eastern spirituality, Gnostic type beliefs, and New Thought, which is a whole other topic I can't go into. But New Age draws from different sources. And so I am talking about mindfulness in the context of its Buddhist and New Age meaning and purpose, because it is being advocated now by psychologists and doctors and all kinds of people, counselors, as a form of de-stressing and a meditation that is supposed to help you cope with anxiety and problems. And I want people to know what it really is. It's actually a spiritual practice. So what does it mean? Mindfulness is actually part of the Buddhist practice to understand the true nature of reality. And in Buddhism, we are continuing to have rebirth because we are attached to this reality. And this reality is false and impermanent. And by being attached to it as real, it will continue rebirth. So we have to cultivate detachment, detachment from desire. And in Buddhism, desire isn't what we may think it is, which is like, I desire a nice home, or I desire, some ice cream. In Buddhism, they mean by desire a grasping at something you're holding on to. So grasping at this reality as real, or grasping at your identity as permanent, is part of desires that form this attachment that continue your rebirth. Therefore, in the Buddhist viewpoint, you need to cultivate a detachment from this. And so that happens through many things, but one of the ways is to cultivate detachment through this mindfulness meditation, because by doing these practices and doing the techniques, then eventually you are to see that this reality and yourself as an identity is impermanent. So that's the main purpose of this. And I don't know if my little picture is showing up here, but I'll read it. It's a picture of a statue of a Buddha, and it says, "There is no self or soul. Human existence is nothing more than a combination of 5 impermanent components. Those are called the skandhas. And I won't go into them, but it's like thoughts and feelings. It's different things that make you think you're real. So when you do mindfulness, the purpose of it is to watch your thoughts go by. And as you watch your thoughts go by, you're supposed to just let them go, not ponder them, not worry about them, not dwell on them. And by doing this over a period of time, if you're doing it pretty much every day, eventually your thoughts don't seem to be part of you anymore. And you begin to see them as something outside of yourself, which is the whole purpose of this, because the idea is that your thoughts are not who you are. They are not really your thoughts. They're just these thoughts that are there, and you are grasping onto them as reality and as part of who you are. And they also ask the question of, well, who is observing the thoughts? If you're seeing your thoughts, then who are you? You can't be you, because these thoughts are coming from this mind. So who's observing the thoughts coming from the mind? And they call this the witness, or the observer. And that is supposed to help you realize there's something else that's watching all this. There's something that's watching me meditate. There's something beyond this. And what that is what we would call in the New Age the true self. I'm not saying Buddhists would use that term, but I'm talking mainly about how this is filtered through New Age ideas in our culture. So it would be the true self, or the Buddha self. And that is supposed to help you also realize that that is who you are. So your self, your identity, is really not permanent. And it's part of this false reality that you're grasping. So you are supposed to become aware of that through the process of mindfulness meditation. It was never designed for relaxation or stress reduction. In a way, that's kind of an insult, I would think, to devout Buddhists who understand this. And I also want to make another notation here about it. Buddhism, as it's practiced in Asia by people who are brought up in it and live in that culture, is mostly, from what I understand and have read, is very cultural. So if you actually are talking to a person born as a Buddhist and raised in a Buddhist culture, raised in Japan as a Buddhist, and you tell them all this, they may say, well, I never heard of that, because these ideas are not like the common way of thinking and doing Buddhism there. What's happened is that the New Age imports these ideas, and through various people who become fond of them and think they have found answers and have written books here in the United States on them. So those ideas sort of spread into the culture. Maybe there's some out there who are old enough to remember Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which I think came out in the 70s. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. It comes into popular culture. Now we have mindfulness promoted by the Dalai Lama, who's very popular. There's a Buddhist monk who promotes it, Thich Nhat Hanh, who's written books on mindfulness. And then there's psychologists who promote it or promote Eastern meditation, like Daniel Goleman, who's really a New Ager. So you have a lot of people who promote this, and people see it as sort of a popular technique from the culture being advocated by people who know what they're talking about, when actually it's this filtered Buddhism that is being explained in Western terms so that it doesn't sound Buddhist and it doesn't sound alien. And that's exactly what the New Age is good at. It presents these New Age ideas, these esoteric Eastern ideas, in familiar language, in a popular culture format often, so it seems harmless and innocuous. And people keep saying, well, we're doing mindfulness, but it's not religious. It's not, we're not doing Buddhism. We're not trying to teach Buddhism. We're just advocating this stress reduction technique. However, having done mindfulness for 12 years, I feel very confident in saying that there is a spiritual component to it. It does affect your thinking and your worldview, and it's going to have a damaging spiritual effect. Sometimes it even has a damaging mental effect. A lot of the studies done on mindfulness that are used to support it, promote it, are flawed. There's actually a book that came out on that called The Buddha Pill, which I highly recommend. I've read it. A lot of these studies are not long-term studies, and they use selective data to and ignore the negative data. So there's also a whole bunch of studies now showing the negative effects of mindfulness. So I'm trying to say a lot here in a few minutes. I see that I only have, I think, 2 minutes left. I want to let you know that on my website, which is christiananswersforthenewage.org, you can find 4 articles on mindfulness. And I explain in much more detail there. I also have an article on meditation on my website. So if you want more details, or in the Q&A period, if you have questions, I can go into it much more. So this was kind of a quick overview that I hope gives you an idea of what mindfulness is, what the true purpose of it is, and what it's about. And since I believe it has a spiritual component in it, I think it's damaging for both Christians and non-Christians to practice mindfulness.
And here's some ways you can connect with us through the website, peoplethefreegift.com. We have our archived messages on that same site. We have a Facebook page. We invite you to come and join the community there. And also, you can help the church where I'm a pastor at by donating. You can go to their Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ebc.roundup. And you can click that Shop Now button, and it'll take you straight to PayPal, and you can donate whatever you want. You can set it up as a one-time or a recurring gift. And anything that you are able to and the Lord leads you to, we would appreciate it. It helps us out a great deal. If you haven't yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up on this video. It really helps to support this channel financially and get it in front of other people. If you know of other people who like this kind of content, we do Bible teaching, we do apologetics, we do stuff reaching out to cults and those caught in religion, and Star Wars and philosophy. If you know of other people who would like this, please share this video, or share a playlist, share our channel on your social media vehicle of preference, and you can click on one of those social media buttons down below the video, and that would help us out a great deal. And until next time, this is Jason from People of the Free Gift signing off.